Profit is brought to you by StopToShop.com, your ultimate source for Pokemon singles, tins, boxes, and cards from a variety of other games too. Type in the coupon code PROFIT in caps with a dash, and you'll sweeten the deal with a 10% discount on your full order. If you're looking for cards, make the stop at Stop to Shop. Hey everybody, it's JWittz here with part 2 of my Rantoul, Illinois Battle Roads Top Cut report. If you're just tuning in from the game 1, this one is not boring like the first game. There's a lot of prize exchanges, and it's actually a really close game. One side note, I commented in the last video that I knew some of it got cut off. It was a little bit more than I remember. I think just each of our first turns. So recap you guys, I start with Crobat G, no good supporters in my hand. I draw Blaziken, attach a fire to him, pass. Carver goes, he starts a dog, a G. He attaches a metal, an energy gain, and uses Deafen. Defen's an attack that prevents me from using trainers, so I'm limited in that regard. But I start, much worse hand than the last time. Carver's is not perfect, but a little bit better, so it's a pretty close game from the start. I have no supporter, but I end up drawing into a Bebe Search, which I play. And I'm stuck deciding between either an Uxie LA or Blaziken FB level X. Blaziken FB will give me the opportunity to knock out his dog and force him to promote his Lucario. So I figured that would be a good play to take the first prize and get maybe a good prize card, or just put some pressure on Carver. But in retrospect, it probably would have been smarter to grab something to get me resources, because I had none. Either an Uxie, a Smeargle, or a Sableye. So he ends up playing the Pokemon Collector. He grabs Bronzong, Dragonite FB, and Garchomp CX. Dragonite is a pretty good counter against SP Pokemon in general, specifically Garchomp. He does 80 damage for 3 energy to any SP Pokemon, well, an active SP Pokemon. So Carver ends up going through resources, tries to use Uxie's setup to get the Lucario out of the active spot and knock me out with Dragonite. He's not able to. After using Jet Shoot, which is the attack I used, Blaziken FB, attacks do 40 more damage to you the next turn, so he could have knocked me out with Dragonite FB's attack, but he's doesn't really have any of the resources that he ended up needed, so he passes after attaching to the Dragonite and grabbing a Toxicroak G fighting promo. I draw, and I'm pretty sure I don't get any search card at all. I didn't get one off my prizes, so I'm kind of stuck with a dead hand. Alluring Flame, which lets you pull up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and burn them. So right now Bronzong G is burned and active. He has 3 retreat cost, so the only way to really get somebody that heavy out that quickly is end as Carver's getting with a Poketurn. So Carver plays the Poketurn, picks up Bronzong, attaches double to Garchomp, levels up to Garchomp CX, and from what I can tell, I think he just claw swipes me for 30. So, as it looks right now, I'm not really in an ample situation to knock back out his Garchomp. He's probably going to hit for 80 the next turn with his attack. I end up dropping Unknown Q, Garchomp, Crobat. I guess cards I kept in my hands had really no use for them. Flashbite Garchomp. Attach. It looks like a double colorless energy to the benched Garchomp. I think I had the double in my hand, but I had nothing really that I could do. I end up hitting him with Vapor Kick and just putting 3 damage counters on his Garchomp. I don't exactly remember why I did that, but he's setting up a little bit faster. I think the process going on in my mind right now is I force him to make a decision between knocking out the Blaziken and the Garchomp. He ends up retreating to save his Dragon Rush, knocks me out with his Dragonite. I have Crobat active, playing Aaron's Collection, get Blaziken and an Energy, and at this point I at least can score a knockout back on Dragonite. He's a great counter against Garchomp. The only problem is he's weak to Garchomp too, so with Earthquake for 3 energy I do 50 times 2, knock out the 100 HP Dragonite, and put 10 damage on all my own bench. Cover draws, attaches, so he has a Garchomp out, the one with 4 damage counters on it, and he can easily knock me back out. He plays a Baby Search. Looks through his deck a few times, grabs an Uxie. So he's gonna be drawing again. At this point, I'm getting pretty, at least a little bit lucky, I guess, that I'm able to stay into the game. He's already played a Cyrus, a Bebe, a couple of search cards. I'm just really relying on top decks. Haven't hit an Uxie yet. And at this point he has a lot of Pokemon, so the later the game you get into the SP matchup, the better chance your opponent has of having a Power Spray in their hand. Actually, I could see the Power Spray from here right now, so even getting the Uxie isn't going to help me now and put it at a disadvantage. Oh, okay. I end up drawing into a Judge. Judge is a good disruption card earlier on. Late game, it can be kind of a gamble. Forces both players to shuffle their hands in and draw exactly 4 cards. So I get rid of his Power Spray if I end up hitting an Uxie off these 4. I know that I get good enough cards to stay in the game, so we'll see what happens. We both cut and draw our 4. Yep, oh, I did get an Uxie, but he still got a spray off his 4. So attach unknown Q to Uxie, give him free retreat, attach. I retreat and Psychic Restore to the bottom. It does 20. Gives you an option to drop Uxie, all cards attached to him, to the bottom of your deck. Basically, I just do this, so if I end up getting a search card, I have another chance of getting Uxie out of my deck. So, he levels up to Garchomp C level X and uses Healing Breath. It lets you remove all the damage counters off all your SP Pokemon. And I have nothing on my field. He's got 2 big attackers, but neither of us have any search cards, so I at least even him in that perspective. He, making some considerations, Dragon Rushes my Blaziken, takes his 3rd prize. So he's up, he's got, at least, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his 3rd. He's taken 3, I've taken 2. I end up top decking, either top decking or just getting it off my Judge, Cyrus, so I can attempt to get back in the game. Get a Fire, an SP Radar, and a Pokemon Collector. Attach Fire, retreat, and attempt a Luring Flame Bronzong. He rolls for burn, takes 20. I'm using my camera's dead battery as a burn counter right now. Unfortunately, I didn't have the awesome burn counters that my girlfriend ended up getting me. So he ends up getting a Poketurn in one of the few cards in his hand. He's able to move Bronzong again and knock out my Blaziken again. He has 2 left, I got 4 left. So I grab my Dragonite, Uxie, and Smeargle with my 3 from Pokemon Collector that I got last turn with Cyrus. My goal here is using Uxie setup to draw, I think, 6 cards, trying to get all the pieces I need to knock out his Garchomp with Dragonite. I, from what I can tell, did not get any of those cards. Tried to use Smeargle, it didn't work because he knocked me out the next turn. So he has 1 prize left, I got 4. Play another Collector, get an Uxie, Chatot G, because at this point he has 1 card in his hand, no energy on the field. I decide my only way to really get back in this game is to hopefully lock him long enough to get an attack going. Now, as you saw in the last game, JWittz rearranges the top 4 cards of his deck the turn I put it down. That was nice of Carver. I think I just asked if I could look at the 4 again. He said yeah. I put him back down in the same order that I had him anyways. I guess I was just paranoid. And I Uxie to get a big hand. So now I'm the one with the big hand and the resources. He is not. I end up getting the double colorless and the energy gain. Use Mach Blow with Dragonite to knock out his Garchomp. Take my 3rd prize. He's up, he attaches an energy and retreats, but there's not really anything Carver can do, because I've limited him from his resources, so he just passes. It's now my turn, and the bad thing about Dragonite is his Mach Blow attack only does 20 damage to regular Pokemon, 80 damage to SP, so I end up taking a risk. I attach and do his attack Giant Tail. It's 4 energy. You flip a coin. If heads it does 100, tails it does nothing. So, take the gamble. It works out for this attack. I end up getting heads, knocking out his Uxie, and now I'm down to 2 prizes. So, I'm catching up. I guess I allowed his top deck to be Pokemon Collector. It must have been the worst card within his top decks. He must have had a lot of supporters in there. Pokemon Collector doesn't help him too much. It allows him to get Smeargle, but Smeargle only gives him the supporter in my hand, Cyrus's initiative. And I think he uses it and gets a double tails. So he still has no search, no energy. And he's limited, and I have the energy on my side of the field. He debates, ends his turn, it's my turn. Now my problem here is I have a full 5 bench. I have no real search, no real energy. Play the initiative for fun. I think I just got a double tails. My only real strategy at this point, with the full bench, no other attackers, is to Giant Tail. So, Giant Tail, tails. So at this point, that's fine. It's a 50-50 chance. I know that I can't hit it every time. I can't be that lucky. So at this point, 1 heads, 1 tails. That's pretty good. Again, at this point, he has no resources. I'm trying to limit him. When he portraits with Smeargle, I have no supporter in my hand, so Carver's limited. I rely on Giant Tail. My turn, get tails again. So, 2nd tails in a row. At this point, I don't know. I'm not like outraged at the game, but if I got heads here, it would have been 1-to-1 prize, and I would have been in a really good situation. He ends up being able to use Pokemon Communication to get Uxie level X. Now this is trouble for me. I can only hold the lock on so long with JWittz before he can start getting cards dealt with consistency. Plays Azel for Time Walk. He only has 1 prize left. There's no Pokemon. I guess he just did that for the heck of it. Maybe try to bait my power spread. So after some debating, he plays Switch to move Smeargle. Uxie X active. Uxie X's trade-off power every turn lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, 1 on the bottom of the deck. So this allows him to start getting out of my lock. I play Power Spray this turn to stop his trade-off, but I believe I'm out of sprays, and at this point, he has a good chance of getting back in. Here I make, I guess, what I consider to be one of my bigger misplays. I use Cyrus's Conspiracy to get Cyrus in a Poketurn and an Energy. The misplay here is he still has Smeargle active. I guess I just thought after 3 straight flips one of them would kill Smeargle, but because well, you'll see. I guess I play Poketurn, rearrange his top decks again, but at this point he has Uxie level X, so combined with his draw and being able to look at the top 2, he's going to be able to look at 3 of the 4 cards that I look at anyways. So, Giant Tail once again, and I whiff. This is kind of what breaks me, because he's able to use my Cyrus now with Portrait. I mean, at this point, I don't really have another strategy. I have no other attacking Pokemon on my bench, but it kind of stinks to get 3 straight tails on Giant Tail. So he's able to use Aaron's Collection, which allows him to get energy. And he had an energy exchanger in his hand. So he has a double on Garchomp, and he's really close to taking that last prize now. It's my turn. I use Cyrus's Initiative. Roll. Get 1 heads. And this allows me to take the energy out of his hand. So at least I can prevent the automatic knockout that he might have of me. I Giant Tail again, and I miss. So after 4 straight misses with Giant Tail, that's the game. So, it was a really good game. Carver got the better end of that one. You know, kind of slowed early with Dialga and was able to just beat me in the Garchomp game. He had more resources. But, I was able to make it a good game despite my bad start. Late game, I still think Chatot-G is a great play, because if your opponent's out of resources, you can lock them. Maybe if I was able to attack with somebody that didn't rely on a coin flip, it could have gone better. But hopefully that's a more exciting game. At the end of this game, time was called, so Game 3 is a 1 prize sudden death game, first prize wins. Tune in, check it out.